I think cooking is a practice of love, and for that reason, all of us should be doing it more. And I think we can find meaningful relationships in it, meaning in it, and can practice love through cooking.
Boogie pop disco in 1980s Nigeria. This is
We're always tasting dishes and looking for changes in like how spicy our chilies are, you know, how sour our citrus is. We do tastings twice a day with the team, so it's never one individual giving their opinion about a plate of food. It's definitely a collective expression of, you know, does it need something else? Does it need a different kind of texture? So Kiln is a restaurant that focuses on northern Thailand and bordering countries. A lot of our dishes are based on our experiences traveling to Thailand and working with other people from Thailand, such as Chef Nun, Chef Charlie. We've had the privilege, as well as Thai Food Master. Our recipes start quite traditionally, and then we look at the produce we have available to us through the relationships with small fisheries or growers. Based on those ingredients, we then begin to develop the dish. So, for instance, our sour curry, one of the key elements there is sour. So we'll use tamarind most of the year to season the dish, as well as some citrus. And then when the citrus is in season from Todolí, we like to experiment with a variety of those different citrus and see what will work best. When quince is in season, we like to use that instead of tamarind to season the dish. So it's like a natural evolution of dishes.
The raw beef lard, you're seasoning with a little bit of lime, or not at all? Should we squeeze some of this with the raw beef? Would be quite nice.
A typical day at Kiln would be looking at the menu. First and foremost, we write our menu daily based on what's coming in. We have deliveries throughout the whole day from numerous different suppliers. Fish could turn up and then we open the box and we're like, oh wow, the mackerel needs to go on, it looks incredible. Let's do it with the radishes from Namiasai, you know, so we're very lucky in that way. So typically the day starts with us looking at the menu, what we have available in-house and what we know is coming in. And then looking at like what we think will work on the day for our guests. We do briefing twice a day. It's really important that it gives people a platform to talk honestly about a dish. We're still very much learning about Thai food and the different regions of Thailand. So by no means are any of us experts. Everyone has an opinion and value.
We have the raw lard with this Onsirus. It was my first time trying it. It's madly floral. Songsoo was saying, likened to a passion fruit and quince. Really interesting.
We have like a base that we start with in terms of a recipe. There might be something that we've learned ourselves in Thailand, working with different individuals. And then during briefing, people will give opinions about it. So a new dish could come up to the pass, we'll all taste it, you know, and we'll talk about, you know, it's like this, so it would work well with that. It could work well like this. And it could be something that is very close to the finish line and needs very little done to it for it to be something that makes the menu, or it could be something that could take months to develop to be something that really works, you know, for us and for our guests.
This is going to go on. This is going to go on here,
Later, okay.
but I wanted us to try it with a different citrus.
Yeah.
We tried it with bergamot before. It worked quite well, but I think this should work. We should work better. But yeah, tuck in, please.
Thank you.
Our ordering happens throughout the day. Some of our suppliers will message, some suppliers will email, some suppliers will phone. It really is like a one-to-one relationship with each supplier. At the end of the evenings, we'll mock a menu up that could be a possibility for the following day, and in the morning that process will start again.
Good. This one a bit more salt.
For us, working with producers, sure, the product is first and foremost. We want a wonderful product, and if we can't have that product, like a high quality product, then we just won't put that on the menu. That's non-negotiable. But also working with those suppliers, we're working with people. We feel like they're supporting us by giving us an incredible product, and we're supporting that person, that individual, to like be able to continue supplying that product. So it's more than just a lemon or some chilies, to us. There's definitely more heart and soul at the back of all of that.
Mexican limes in there.
Oh shit, okay.
No, don't be shit. It's fine for you.
We've got so many, we need to use them. Fusion. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just looking.
For a second, I thought I might be chopping some like 100 pound lemon citrus or something.
None of them are 100 pounds.
Of course, there's, winemakers and producers outside of the UK that we work very closely with, and one being Todolí Citrus Foundation that we had the privilege of getting connected with through talk class. It's a 5th generation citrus farm located between Valencia and Alicante, and they have farming methods that are hundreds of years old. That is ancestral knowledge that we need to preserve and learn and keep for kind of preserving a lot of the genetic diversity that's within the citrus world. They have something close to 400 different citruses that we are, looking into, using, experimenting with, experiencing, and discovering, really, which is probably a component that we don't look into as much in restaurants on a daily regular level, because we want regularity and consistency, which is very important, but a sense of adventure and a sense of discovery is something that I think in general in the workplace we need more, a sense of play, discovery. And so it's great to have citruses that we don't know of and are not familiar with, to bring it in and just be really joyful about it and play with it.
And anyway, we use a micro irrigation system, drop by drop.
Vincente Todolí is an art director, curator, and kind of knows so much about everything, everything that is beautiful. And he's also the 5th generation citrus farmer of Todolí. The reason why he has, I think, 400 different varieties is because I think he grows not just for flavor and its productivity, but for its shape and for its beautifulness, for its form. That's equally important to our knowledge base, but also for eating and cooking and for farming and genetic diversity. Vincente has been able to preserve lots of things because he has a different perspective on farming. It's not just about the productive and what grows best, but it's also about the beautiful. And I think that's quite key to living for us as humans. So Matthew Slotover, owner and director of Talk Class, is extremely generous and has shared his network and relationship with Vincente, with us, Super 8, to be able to share the citrus that they grow. And I feel immensely lucky to be able to bring the citrus to London. We're like one of the few restaurants who uses it and is experiencing the beauty of it, which is what a privilege.
You don't want to eat the pit, but I feel like the zest is really nice. Got that really sour mandarin.
Yeah.
The citrus season means we have vibrant acidity, sweetness, aromas. To learn more about Thai food, because Thai food we're learning constantly because it's so deep, and it's in its deepness there's acidity, aroma, bitterness, different types of textures, and I think citrus complements those, the that kind of vision in Thai food. Today they did a raw beef larb, which is lots of aromatic spices and chili and gapi and the meat, obviously the raw meat, and you use the citron to dip the larb, and it just creates this like amazing balance and crunch, a different dimension to what a raw beef larb can be, which is amazing.
Considerous.
Oh wow.
Considerous.
Oh, that's right.
Borneo lemon.
Ponceres is a citrus that I know of it being like genetically very old. It's often used as a rootstock, meaning that its roots are very strong and resilient to lots of diseases. So then you hybridize another type of citrus on top of the rootstock. And that, you put into sugar and like slowly ferment. And it's like very passion fruity and quincy and has like a complex aroma. And also acid from the pulp, which I think is really fascinating. It's just so complex. We've been having a lot of fun using citron and Amalfi lemons that, you can have access to the whole fruit. You can eat the whole thing, like you can eat the rind. And I think that really challenges our idea of what you can eat in a citrus. And I think that kind of creates a whole different experience for the guest and eating in general, to be able to just kind of eat through the whole citrus rather than peel and then eat the insides only.
You char the rind.
Yeah.
With the spoon, just take it off.
My name is Songsoo Kim. I do sourcing and development. So sourcing being, connecting with farms and farmers and deepening that relationship. And then development obviously involves the development of those relationships, but also using the restaurant as kind of the farm extension. For example, the culture of fermentation was intrinsic to what the farm did, but with urbanization, those kind of roles have dissipated, and I think it's kind of the restaurant's role, and I'm trying to kind of expand on those ancestral ideas of developing the farm's larder and glut and extreme seasonality and micro-seasonality into preservation methods, and to bring that into the restaurants.
Songsoo was a senior CVP here at Kiln for a long time. She showed like a huge amount of passion for ingredients and had just a genuine understanding of like quality. Working with her just gives myself, as well as the entire team, way more access to wonderful produce, like a really constant dialogue with our suppliers. She'll pick up on problems we're having or problems they're having, and we're able to like just work seamlessly to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Whether a supplier needs support in buying a certain crop, or whether she's come to me and she's like, you have to take this, it's incredible. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's just like having like an inside person to be able to do that. And then also, because of her cooking background, not only is she able to source a wonderful product, she can tell you what to do with it as well. So like, she might be like, Meedu, this is going to be fantastic raw. This is going to work really well if we ferment it. This is going to work really well, grilled or braised, so it's a huge benefit, like all around.
I don't really do much. I just think certain things taste good, and certain things we should use, and certain relationships we must honor, and we must do better for it. And so I think we all kind of come together and huddle and say, okay, let's really push this project or like this produce this season. And for example, when the citrus happened, we all huddled together, we did the briefing together. We wanted to make sure that, in our team, we were excited about it. We want to make sure that our guests were excited about it. And so that's what we do. And then in that excitement, we are able to play with the different ingredients, and then make different drinks or different food items, different dishes. I mean, that's the collaboration. It's just to bring everybody in that journey of being excited as much as we can about something that's super special.
Ready for you? Are you ready for it? Oh, yes, you are. Read your life.
Second chicken sausage wrap follow Chantilly.
Yes, sir. We do quite a lot of our dishes. The base of the paste or the base of the flavour comes from charred off aromats. So you got usual suspects like garlic and shallot. But yeah, chilies, char them off. Dishes like the pounded pollock, the naprik gapi, which is the fermented shrimp relish, the Laotian paste which we had at briefing earlier. We char off all the vegetables on the fire, on the charcoal. Not until they're blackened all the way through, just to sort of impart flavour on the inside. You peel off the charred part. And this is going to be the relish for the mutton chops going on tonight. What we do different sauces and different dishes, but the curry all works really nicely with the charred chives in. We use like a red lantern for the pork chops and the steaks.
Gosh, cooking on charcoal and cooking on fire is elemental. If you really feel like your whole body is cooking, which is to say, when you're in front of the fire, but it's almost like your whole body is tasting, and you're feeling the temperature, you're feeling how hot you can make something, and how hot it needs to be. And it's very physical, it's very analog, right? It's not like 1, 2, 3, you're making it hotter. It's like, put more charcoal, but like place the charcoal in a certain way to make it hotter. Make this area more hot, make this area less hot, make this area, cooler, or not cool, but have little different areas, microclimates within your cooking space to move things around so that you can play with your food and to make sure that you have the best outcome, and that not every day is the same. Every time I cook on fire, it's different, and you learn something new, and your whole body is learning. And sometimes that's really exhausting, but also it's very rewarding.
These are the lark sausages. They get made over at Smoke and Go and then sent over here. We're actually going to have a delivery today, so we're getting skewers, sausages, which you can see wrapped up in cool fat, rather than an actual sausage casing. So it all melts around. They're quite good sausages.
I think it's quite personal to each individual, to every team member and to every guest, what the core flavour of Kiln is. I think us focusing on Isan and Northern Thailand allows us to have bitterness and astringency, sour, as well as umami, would be like key factors in the plates of food that we create. I'd say for me, the key is always tasty, and it's nice to be able to explore that in a slightly different way. Something like the monkfish curry, yeah, it's like really rich and umami, but then besides that you might have one of our radish and turnip salad, which has got like a nice bitterness with the betel leaf running through it, and then dressed with like the different citrus zests and juice from different citrus. Stuff like our jungle curry, very umami, but then it also has a smoky element, help like round off that flavour. So I think that there's a good balance within the menu. Something that we pride ourselves on is making sure the menu is not leaning to one side.
Now this is actually a rump cap. So it's a beautiful bit of beef from Philip Warren's,
Right.
in Cornwall.
Wow.
Pretty happy with that. But yeah, it's a beautiful cut of beef, really easy to cook. And you'll see it's Todolí, Todolí, and it's made twice fresh with big umbrella.
I think every farmer is like everyone. We're all different, and you have to go in with understanding. You're not just buying. If you approach your sourcing as a buyer, it won't do much. You have to approach it as a relationship, as a friendship. And it is a friendship, you know? And so you go in with empathy, love, kindness, and to generate exciting projects that are creative and stimulating for both of us. That's, I think, how the relationship develops.
Yeah.
Like I said to you earlier, I don't want to sound corny, but like restaurants and food in general should be about people. You know, about your team, about your guests, about your suppliers. I think that at its core is like, you know, is who I am. So that would be my message: is always make it about people. That's good enough for me.